Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Coaching Show with your host, Master Certified Coach Christopher McAuliffe.
We're talking with the extraordinary Paulette Rao. She has got many awards and designations, currently the Executive Vice President of the New York City ICF Board. She's also a founding fellow of the Harvard Institute of Coaching Professional Association, also inducted into the YWCA's New York Academy of Women Achievers in 2002 for transformational leadership. She's a principal in True North Resources. You can find her at Paulette at True North. Is it TrueNorthResources.com, correct? Paulette at True
That's right.
North Resources, plural.com. And we've been talking today not only about the great work of the ICF in New York City, but also, and about Paulette's great work. You were also, I think, voted 3 times Miss Congeniality at the CAM conferences, correct? Maybe that was just on my ballot. Anyway, we're talking about neuroscience and how brain science is helping not only coaching, but is actually making a difference in large organizations. So just before the break, we were talking about... Sorry, we've got a little communication issue here. Just before the break, we were talking about how Juicy Dish has really gotten our attention for most of us. Our brains sort of respond to that. You want to pick it up there?
Sure. So our brains will focus wherever we ask them to. But on their own, naturally, they like to go to details, problems, drama, juicy dish. And that's why, as you mentioned, the Kardashian show and the reality shows that we watch are so popular, why soap operas have been popular for so long, why operas in general are very dramatic and very, over the top. That's what our brains really enjoy. They enjoy a good puzzle, they enjoy a good visual, they enjoy a good story. But interestingly enough, that's not where one does their best thinking and learning, growing and changing. Where we learn and we grow, as I'm sure you know, Christopher, is the part of the brain that we use to do that is the prefrontal cortex, which is a really small part of the brain. It's tiny, in fact. It's only 4% of the entire brain. And it's the center of the brain that we use when we coach someone. It's the center of the brain that you're using right now to interpret the words that I'm saying. It's what we use if someone said, what is 2 and 2? So this is such a tiny part of our brain, and yet it's the sensor for learning. And what happens is that if we're infiltrated and deluged by all this information and visuals and details and problems and drama, our prefrontal cortex gets overwhelmed, and it doesn't have this space for new thinking, for insight. And let's face it, people come to coaching because they want to think with fresh, they want to see with fresh eyes. They want to think in a new way about whatever it is that's on their mind, whether it's a leadership capability, finding a soulmate, whatever the case may be. They're coming because they haven't gotten quite where they wanted. They either are running away from something or they're running towards something, but they need something new. They need an insight. They need a spark, something to propel them forward towards this new way of being that they're heading towards. And the problem is that a regular conversation just won't get us there. It might be enjoyable, our brain might like it, it might be a great way to pass the time. But as a coach, we have to be critically aware of this and invite our clients. I call it inviting them up in the elevator from details, problem, and drama up to the higher levels of real estate of thinking, which are thinking, visioning, and planning. And I think when we can speak with people about, so what's important to you? Where do you want to go with that? What's the best that could happen here? What does it look like? What does it feel like? How might you do that? Those are the kinds of questions that prompt someone to stay in those upper levels, which are so different from the details, problems, and drama. And that's the place where the insights are born. So as coaches, we have to be really aware of, we're trained to ask powerful questions. But, as a coach assessor, and I don't know if you see this as well, Christopher, there are a lot of coaches that they're asking powerful questions, but I hear questions about the problem. I hear questions about the details.
Right.
And they're just not useful. And to the extent that a coach can really get that we're not using our time well, and we're not going to have the impact at the end of the hour, at the end of the engagement that we want, the more you keep reminding yourself that, the more you might be apt to move up in that elevator to the higher levels of thinking.
Well, now we're talking. So I've got a few things to say. First of all, I did the math, and 2 and 2 is 4. So 4, I got that one.
Okay.
The second thing is, so I want to go back to something because I heard something there that echoed something my grandmother always told me. So you're saying that we literally can fill our minds with garbage? that the PFC, the prefrontal cortex, has some sort of like limit to it, and if you preoccupy yourself with junk that's on TV or in the media or on Facebook or something, that it actually limits what else you can think about or create.
Yeah. Well, the newest findings are showing. At first, it was showing that we only could hold 7 things in our mind at one time. Now the data is showing it's down to about 4. That after 4. There's fall off in how much you can remember.
Yeah.
So, Christopher, if I said to you 1, 2, 3, 4, you'd remember that, or A, B, C, D. But if I chose 4 words in another language that you'd never heard before, on the 3rd or 4th, you might start saying, what was the 4th word again? So, yeah, the prefrontal cortex is pretty limited. It's pretty fussy, and it needs to be pretty darn clear.
And I should
before we engage.
Apologize because I think I'm bringing everybody's average down about that 3, moving from 7 to 4. But you're okay. So, and then the other thing that I heard is you're calling the prefrontal cortex the part that is central to learning, and yet when you describe it, thinking, visioning, planning, what's best, what's possible, does that look and feel like? I'm hearing it's a creative center. Is there a difference in the brain science between creativity and learning?
Well, I believe that there is, but I'm not a neuroanatomist, so I'll leave that question to them. But as I understand it, the prefrontal cortex is the executive center of the brain. It's where we do the rational thinking. It's where we do the computation. It's where we hear what's being spoken and decide what it means for us. And yes, there are other parts of the brain that have creative abilities, but the prefrontal cortex, its primary job is it's sort of, I almost see it as like our teacher. It's the one that sits up with its hands in the classroom and says, okay, I'm ready for what you have now. It's that piece of the brain that the learning filters through.
Nice. Okay. So then, of course, this is something useful for our clients, but it's mostly useful for us. Like we can't actually talk to them about reducing the junk and really sort of exercising. I'm almost hearing it as a function of exercising the prefrontal cortex by getting out of our current context and out of our current patterns of thinking. Am I picking up what you're laying down?
Yeah. So it lends itself to a lot of the things that we do in coaching. It explains why often a coach will clear, and other people have different words for it, why we'll get mindful and present before we coach, or why we'll ask the client when we get on the line about if there are any distractions that they're experiencing that they need to clear. So, this is what we've always done this, and we know that we want people to be clear when they come into the conversation. But now we have all the science to back it up that really shows that if we don't do a good job, taking everything off the desk before we start putting more stuff on it, our ability to facilitate insight is severely mitigated, and we're not setting ourselves up to win. So getting mindful, clearing the mind, asking and teaching the client about mindfulness, and making space in the working memory to learn, it's really important for us and for the client.
This is so deep and such important stuff, and I apologize. Our time is just flying by. We've got about 2 minutes left. So number one is, what's next? What do coaches need to pick up, read, learn, participate in to learn more about this fascinating topic?
Well, if anyone is interested, I love to teach about this, and I'm giving a teleclass on this very topic on January 14th of next year, and people could get in touch with me if they'd like to attend an hour-and-a-half teleclass in their pajamas and learn more about how neuroscience informs the way we need to coach to be really effective.
Great. And what else is available? I know you've written a book on transformational coaching.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've written a book called Transformational Coaching, as well as I really feel passionate about helping coaches build a sustainable practice. So I wrote, I teach authentic marketing for coaches at NYU, but the book is called Conscious Marketing. And again, the mindfulness aspect of getting clear before we begin so that what we do has much more impact.
And where can we find out both of those? Transformational coaching?
Amazon.
And conscious marketing.
Good old Amazon.com.
That has taken over the world in a good way. All right. We've got just under a minute left. You're such an extraordinary human being, a powerful woman, a leader in coaching, and a pioneer. What would you like to leave 25,000? Thank you. What would you like to leave our 25,000 listeners with today? What's a parting shot?
Yeah. Well, I think it's so important to be grateful, and the parting shot that I want to leave with all of you is that I'm grateful to have had this opportunity to connect with you through the airwaves, and I would be so grateful for any connection that you felt inspired to reach back.
Wonderful.
And thank you, Christopher, for your time. It's always a pleasure to talk about, what we love to do.
Indeed. That is the great Paulette Rao, Master Certified Coach, BCC. You can find her and find out more about her work at TrueNorthResources.com. That's TrueNorthResources.com. And write her at Paulette at TrueNorthResources.com. Also check out the ICF New York City at ICFNYC.org. When we come back, we'll talk with Sylva Ledoux. It's The Coaching Show. Stay with us.
If you heard that sound, you probably are eligible for insurance from Navy Mutual, insuring the men and women of the Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. Here's what one policyholder, retired Navy Commander Thomas Dade, had to say.
Navy Mutual is the best insurance decision I ever made. I wish you had a savings plan available that earned the rates my Navy Mutual insurance has been earning.
Navy Mutual Aid Association, started by military members in 1879, serves active, reserve, and retired military today. Navy Mutual honors our military by providing them affordable life insurance with the features they need without fine print, sales fees, or military service restrictions. Value, integrity, trust, and stability are the cornerstones on which our commitment to you and your loved ones are built. Call Navy Mutual at 1-800-628-6011 or NavyMutual.org for your personal life insurance plan consultation. 1-800-628-6011 or NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Do you want to be a professional coach? Are you in business trying to make a real difference with people you manage or work with? Have you started a coaching practice that isn't quite getting off the ground? Get the skills you need to be a successful coach today with the Coaches Training Program from Accomplishment Coaching. The Coaches Training Program will show you how to help others focus and be more fulfilled. Whether you want to improve your company's bottom line or create a thriving coaching practice, Accomplishment Coaching can give you the distinctions and practices you need to coach others effectively today. Accomplishment Coaching has spent 6 years developing a cutting-edge coaches training program that will have you ready to coach people professionally in just 12 months, and you don't have to take time off work to do it. To find out more about the Coaches Training Program, just call 1-888-548-6813. That's 1-888-548-6813.
I have some good news for a change. With the stressful times upon us, having a regular glass of wine has proved in many studies to reduce stress. Want some more stress-relieving tips? VinVillage.com is an exciting new social organization connecting wine lovers around the country with an exclusive local and online wine lifestyle experience. Vin Village members can meet others online and in person, attend wine dinners and tastings, participate in forums, blogs, and wikis, purchase limited and exclusive wines, even create your own wine. You heard me. Create your own wine. And best yet, membership is free. So reduce some of the stress and have some fun. Join now and connect with thousands of other like-minded wine lovers. To learn more, go to vinvillage.com. That's www.vinvillage.com. Vin Village is where wine lovers connect.